thank you for joining me for this yoga practice. My name is Kat, and if I haven't had the chance of meeting you in the studio yet, I hope to be able to do so soon when things return to normal. This practice is designed to focus on core stability. So we can do some postures just to bring awareness and a little more strength to the center area of our torso. You will need a blanket for this sequence, unless you're very comfortable sitting on your bottom for a long period of time. And if you don't have any knee issues, then you won't need it. But maybe get one, pause the video, make sure you've got a blanket or a towel handy. We're going to get started in a seated position, bringing blanket under your bottom, if that helps to just elevate the hips and helps you to sit in a cross-legged position. We'll be here for a few minutes, so make sure you're comfy. Let's start by coming into the practice, by coming into the body and coming into our breath. I invite you to straighten your spine, bring the hands somewhere comfy. You might like to rest them in your lap or on your knees, whatever feels good for you. And closing your eyes down, trusting me, I will tell you when to open them again. Just stop. Let go of whatever you were doing before you came to your mat. Let go of whatever you've got to do when you're done. And just come into this moment, this present moment. Give yourself an imaginary pat on the back for taking this time, for looking after your body, your mind and your soul with your yoga practice. Tuning in to the position of your body and the feeling of your spine lifting up through the abdomen, using your core, really turning on those muscles to hold your body nice and straight. Feel the chest lift, the shoulders relax and drop. I like to give them a little shake to wake them up so they do what you want them to do. And let your head just hover naturally above your neck. The chin should be in a nice neutral position, not tucked under too far, not sticking out. Not tilting the head back too far. Just a nice neutral position. And now bringing your awareness to your breath, the most important tool that we have in yoga. Pathway through which we can connect to our body and to our mind. And just notice the feeling of the breath as it passes in and out through your nostrils. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest and your belly as they expand and contract with each breath. If Ujjayi breath is part of your practice, you're very welcome to bring it in. Either way, beginning to deepen and lengthen your breath. With me, taking a really nice big breath in through the nose and an open mouth exhale, let it go. Let's do that one more time, breathing in, exhale, let it all go. Feel the shoulders relax a little more when you do that. Feel the breath deepen and extend in length. Gently opening your eyes, bringing your awareness back to the video. Preparing to move the body. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale, lift our arms up towards the ceiling. Nice big stretch. And exhale, we're going to take it over to the left-hand side with a lateral side bend. You can let the left hand drop down to the mat. The right arm extends up and over. Inhale, coming back through center. Let's take it to the other side. Beautiful, coming back through center on an inhale, and let's take it one more time to each side. So left hand drops to the mat. Feel that beautiful stretch down the side of the body, coming as low as it feels good. Inhale, coming back through center and taking it over to the other side. Starting to wake up those side muscles down through our torso, core part of our body. Inhale, coming back up. And exhale, let the arms float down back by your side. Beautiful. Inhale, taking the arms back up again, and this time we're going to twist over to the left-hand side. So you're going to bring your right hand down onto your waist. Your left hand will sort of wrap around behind you into your lower back. And you can let the gaze look over that left shoulder. Or perhaps just keep it straight ahead if that feels better for your neck. Inhale, let's come back up through center. Our arms reach tall, feel the spine lengthen. And let's exhale over to the other side. So this time the left hand wraps around your tummy. You're looking back over your right shoulder. One more each side. So inhaling up through center. And let's take it over to the left hand side. Wrapping around, feeling that beautiful twist of the spine. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, back over to the right. Perfect. Inhale, one last stretch up nice and tall. Exhale, let the arms come down. From here, we're just going to come into a seated forward fold. So you're going to bring the hands onto the mat. This might be where you stay, and that's totally cool. If you've got a little more movement through your hips, through your back, you can start to walk the hands forward. And please stop wherever it feels right for your body. Using the breath, you're breathing in and breathing out slowly to your own rhythm as you gently make your way down. And whenever you get to the point that you think, that feels pretty good for me today, stop there. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. Make sure the gaze is dropped so that you are looking towards the floor. I don't want your neck tilting up. That's putting unnecessary pressure. Sorry, I don't want your chin tipping up. That's putting unnecessary pressure on your neck. So keeping your gaze down towards the carpet and coming down as low as it feels good for you, stopping where you've got enough. Making sure you continue to breathe. Sometimes when we hold postures, it can be tempting to hold our breath, but we want to keep breathing, using that breath to really deepen into the pose as much as we can. And let's walk our hands back gently. So wherever you are, coming back up to seated. And then we're just going to swap the legs over. So we've had them one way, whichever way you naturally cross your legs. Come into your Gumby side, the side that doesn't feel quite right. And we're going to take that fold again, just to make sure we've sort of evened out that stretch through both sides of the body. So bringing the hands in front of you, and again, stopping wherever it feels good for you. Remembering to breathe. And gently making your way forward till you find the place that works for you. You might notice, like I'm noticing now, this side's tighter for me. I can't go as low. So just notice that in your body. Are there differences between one half from the other? Perhaps with the breath, you're able to come a little deeper into the stretch. Making sure the gaze is dropped towards the floor. Beautiful. Using the hands to slowly push you back up to seated position. You're going to unravel the legs. You might like to give them a little shake, let them go. If you've got pins and needles, please pause the video, wait for the pins and needles to pass before you come into the next sequence. We're going to make our way over onto our hands and knees. Be here for a little bit of time. So if your knees give you a bit of trouble, they don't like being in a kneeling position for long, please get your blanket and pop them under the knees for a bit of extra support. Listen to your body and do what works for you. We're going to work through a few rounds of cat and cow, just to do a little more work on the spine. So making sure your arms are positioned below your shoulders to a nice tabletop position, the knees are below the hips and our feet are just flopped out behind us. When you're ready, you're going to inhale, dropping the belly towards the mat, lifting the bottom towards the ceiling as the chest and the head lift as well. As you exhale, really push through the floor, push away, use the foundation, the stability of the floor to get that nice curve and arch through the back. Inhale, coming back into cow. And exhaling back to cat. You know this movement, moving with your own breath. Going a little slower or a little faster than me if you need to. Listening to your body. Beautiful, let's do one more. And when you've finished this round, just come to a neutral spine. Meeting me here in a neutral spine. Let's push back to child's pose. Feel that stretch through the arms as they extend out the mat in front of you. As you sink deep back towards the heels, towards the feet. We're going to come into Chakrikavasana. I'm going to start by working on the left side only, so don't be tempted to swap to the other leg. Let's just stick with the left side initially. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale up, back to all fours, and as you do so, extend your left leg out behind you. Your toes are really turned on, the legs really turned on, really switch on the glute, turn on the legs, flex the toes, point them towards the floor. And exhale, push back to child's pose. The idea here is that you're using the core of your body along with your legs, inhale, coming back up to really make this movement. Sticking with the left-hand side, pushing back to child's pose. This time when you come up, you're welcome to introduce the arms. So as the left leg kicks out behind you, your right hand can extend, bringing more stability, more work for the core. Exhale, push back to child's pose. So plant that hand down, the knee comes down. Inhale, coming back up, the left leg extends, the right arm reaches. I like to work one side first because I find when we swap between each side, we lose our balance a little bit. So pushing back to child's. Coming up again on the same side, inhaling up, reaching forward. This time, instead of taking child's pose as you exhale, bringing the right elbow to touch the left knee, or at least bringing them towards each other. Exhale, pushing back out, staying up. Leg extends, arm extends. Just one more, you've got this. Use the core, bringing it in. Reaching out one last time. And then let it go. Take it back to child's pose. And rest here for a moment before we take it to the other side. Letting that good work settle into the body. Preparing for what's coming next. So making sure your hands are ready on your mat. Nice distance from your knees. Inhale, coming up to all fours, lifting your right leg behind you this time. Just the leg to begin with, extending out behind, the toes are flexed again, turned on. Let's
Let's push back to child's pose on the exhale. Coming up again, all fours, leg extends behind you. And back to child's pose. This time, bringing in the left arm, so the right leg pushes out behind you, the left arm extends. Really turning on your core, feeling that engagement through the abdominal muscles, through your glutes. Exhale, pushing back to child's pose. Let's take it again. Same movement. Inhale up, arm extends, right leg kicks back. Keep the gaze looking towards the mat, not out in front of you. Exhale, child's. Inhale, coming back up, extending the left arm, the right leg, and you know where we're going. We're going to bring the left elbow to the right knee, crunch it in. Push everything back out, arm extends, leg behind you. And bring it back in again. Beautiful. One last extension, arm in front, foot behind, engage the toes. And bring everything back to the mat. Push back to child's pose. Enjoy a moment of rest. Coming back up onto all fours. I'm going to hover in our tabletop position just for a few breaths. So tucking your toes under behind you. And when you're ready, taking a big breath in, inhaling in. And on the exhale, lifting the knees up off the ground so you're hovering. This is an amazing posture for building strength through the core, really turning on right from the pelvic floor, all the way up through the core, through the arms, and then all through the legs and the bottom. Remembering to breathe, you can feel it starting to shake, you can hold on, one more breath. Let it go. Such a subtle movement, but so useful and powerful on the body. From here, inhaling, coming up to all fours. I'm going to exhale, tuck the toes under behind you and come into downward facing dog. It's our first dog of the day, so perhaps take a moment to walk the feet out, pedal the feet. Enjoy that stretch through the back body. I like to really bend the knees as a way of bringing the sit bones higher towards the ceiling. And then inhale, let's drop the knees to the floor again, look forward. Back to child's pose as we exhale. I'm going to do a few rounds of that beautiful, simple sequence. Inhale, coming back to all fours, looking up. Tucking your toes under as you exhale and find downward facing dog. Inhale, dropping the knees, looking forward. Coming back to child's pose on the exhale. Inhale, back to all fours, looking up. Tucking your toes under, finding downward facing dog. Dropping the knees on the inhale, looking forward. And taking it back to child's pose. Inhale, back to all fours. Tucking your toes. And coming into downward facing dog. Now we're going to do something a little different from here. So instead of coming onto our knees, although you are welcome to take that option, I'm going to invite you to come with me into a high plank. I'm really going to turn our core on here. It's the only plank you'll do. Using the breath, really making sure the bottom, the legs, everything's turned on. Sucking in the bottom, the thighs, the tummy. hands are a little further back. Here's the breath. It's hard to talk and do this at the same time. And when you're ready, we're going to lower down, lower, lower. If you need to, you can drop the knees as you lower. Otherwise, lowering from high plank down to low plank. Let it go. Find the mat, let the head drop to the side. Beautiful. Bring the arms down by the side. Let the backs of the hands flop onto the mat. Just let everything go for a moment. We're going to work through a little bit of Salabhasana. It's really good for the lower back, but it's also great at working our core. So what we're going to do from here is bring your forehead to rest on the mat, so you're looking straight down, lying prone. The hands are still down beside your thighs. This time turn the hands over so the palms are on the ground. Before we begin moving, just take the time to zip the legs up, so bringing them together if that feels okay, really turning on through the thighs and the bottom. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale to lift the chest, the head, up off the floor. Just a gentle movement. Make sure the gaze remains down towards the mat. No looking up. This is no good for the neck. Keep looking down and exhale lower. You can keep doing that just with the chest and the neck, keeping the palms on the ground, which you can use for a little bit of leverage. Or if you'd like to, you can introduce an arm. So as you inhale, you come up and just lift one arm up in front of you. And exhale, sweep it back. It's going to turn on your core even more. Inhale into the other side, so lifting the other arm up. It'll bring your chest a little higher off the ground. Exhale, it comes back. And it will work more into the lower back. So if you've got any lower back issues, keep the hands down by the side of the body. Keep the movement smaller and protect your lower back. It's not worth the risk. Inhale, coming up, whichever variation you're doing. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, other side if you're working with the arms. Exhale, take it back, really turning on the core. Let's go one more time each side. Beautiful. From here, planting the hands back down either side of your chest line and pushing back to child's pose. We did a back bend there. Working into the lower back, so feel that release as you push back to child's pose. And then from there, coming up onto your knees, we're going to reach for the ceiling. On our knees, extending tall. And exhale, back to child's pose. But as you come back, let the hands come to rest on the lower back or down on the floor beside you rather than out in front. Inhale, reaching back for the ceiling. This is just a counter posture to the Ardha Salabhasana work we were just doing, which really started to bend into our back. So make sure when you come up, you're not doing more of a back bend, but keeping the pelvis tucked under so that the spine is straight. Exhale, back to child's. Inhale, reaching back for the ceiling. Let's take 2 more of these. Exhale to child's. Inhale, back up. Back to child's pose. Last one as we reach for the ceiling one last time. And back to child's pose. Fantastic. Coming forward now back onto your sit bones, onto your bottom. You don't need a blanket for this, it doesn't really help all that much. We're going to come into boat. There's a few variations.
So bringing the feet in front of you, it helps if they're together, if that feels okay. Elongating and bringing length and straightness to the spine. And we've got a few options here. So I'm going to lift the legs in a minute and bring them parallel to the ceiling. But if that doesn't feel okay, you can just lean back. So the hands extend in front. In fact, let's go through the options together. Let's try this one first. So the feet remain firmly planted on the ground. Bring your arms out in front of you and lean back. This is really about turning on your core, using these muscles to hold you. Holding you there, using the breath, continuing to breathe and coming out when you've had enough. If you want to take it further and you've got the mobility through the tops of your ankles and your feet, you can lift the knees a little higher. You can point the toes, go onto the tippy toes and lean back. Use the breath, continue to breathe. A bit of a foot cramp doing that. Okay, if you want to come into a harder version of the pose to really work the core, this time as you extend the arms out, we're tilting back and lifting the legs so that the tops of my shins are parallel to the ceiling. And we're remembering to breathe. This is really hard to do while talking. Holding, using the breath. Shaking my feet. I probably want to come back down. So listen to your body. Do what serves you today. You might be here, here, or here. But listen. Listen to the breath as you guide for shaking movements in the body and use those to guide you. Staying where it serves you today. Beautiful. Letting both toes go. Coming to lie onto your mat, onto your back. Bringing the legs in for a really nice big squeeze. Might like to rock a little from side to side. And then placing a palm on top of each knee. So left palm on left knee, right palm on right knee. I'm going to take a few rounds of Apanasana. So as you breathe in, you're going to let the knees drop away, the elbows will extend, the feet head towards the floor but probably won't touch. And as you exhale, everything draws back in towards the tummy. Try and extend the fingers out so that you're not tempted to use the hands for the movement, but rather you're using your core muscles. The hands are just there for the ride. Inhale as everything pushes away. And exhale as it comes back in towards the body. One more just like that. Beautiful. This time as you inhale, take the feet up towards the ceiling and extend the arms overhead. It's a nice stretch for the legs, the shoulders, the arms. Exhale, bring it back in towards the chest. Inhale, extend the feet towards the ceiling. The arms come back overhead, the back of the hands rest on the floor. Exhale, back into the tummy. One more of these. Inhale, reaching up, feet towards the ceiling. Exhale, last one, bringing it in. Last hug. Little massage for the back. And when you're ready, we're going to take Shavasana. I really encourage you to take this. Don't skip this step because you're at home. Move along the mat a little. Make sure you're comfy. Let the legs, feet flop out, the arms flop out. Just let everything go. If you're working with Ujjayi breath, you can let that go now. If you're extending and deepening your breath, let that go.
And just come into the natural rhythm of your breath. Notice as it passes back in through the nose, as it ever so gently fills and then leaves our chest and our abdomen. You can stay in Shavasana as long as you like. I encourage you to use this time to rest, to relax, to let the good work you've just done settle into the body, into the mind, into the breath. So I will sign off now. I wish you a good day. Enjoy your Shavasana. Namaste.